it doesn't even, play into the scheme of things.
Iran and Russia are holding a joint naval exercise in the Caspian Sea. Iranian news agency Maya reported that 30 ships and 2 helicopters are taking part in this maneuver. Is this a signal to the U.S. and Israel not to use force against Iran?
Please repeat that.
Iran and Russia are holding a joint naval, and I just closed out the email. Hold on, let me pull it back. Iran and Russia are holding a joint naval exercise in the Caspian Sea. Iranian news agency Maya reported that 30 ships and 2 helicopters are taking part in this maneuver. Is this a signal to the U.S. and Israel not to use force against Iran?
No, I think it's just a cooperative effort, and I don't see anything significant because the forces are very small. These aren't hundreds of ships. No, I don't think there's any great significance there. And it's a qualified guess.
This one's about the New York Times. Russian Foreign Ministry officials said Tuesday that any U.S. participation in the European Union's monitoring mission in Georgia would be extremely harmful, and that it would increase the likelihood that violence would flare up in the breakaway border region.
Well, I think the Russians are right, but what they're really telling them is you guys come here and do that again, and we ain't taking any prisoners this time. And that's understandable. People are fed up with what these guys are doing.
Here's a question, a little off topic. This is the one I was trying to think of on Friday. This question actually came in on Monday from Denny. There may be a little off topic, but it still ties into what is being done to us. What is your take on these jet exhausts that seem to morph into weird clouds and turn the sky gray? Is this to weaken our immune system?
Well, I can't really say because I don't know. But I suspect, knowing government, that they're doing all kinds of things, whether it's diseases or... it's not a topic that is something I spend a lot of time on because I have other areas that I'm much better at. But they're doing something, and they don't want to tell us about it. Recently, India and Nigeria, I think it was, made them ground their planes. I mean, they took them out of the sky. They said, you're not going to continue to do that over our country. And they made them land. These are Russian planes that were purchased by the U.S. government that are spewing out all this garbage or whatever it is.
He lives in well, I'll try to say that to the end of the program. His mother, she's 75, and she was put into a fund consisting of 50% Canadian bonds, 30% Canadian equities, and 20% foreign equities. You think her money's okay?
No. Get out as soon as possible. How old is she?
75.
Why don't you... And they're Canadian?
Yes.
Buy Canadian treasuries. It's safer. I mean, the market's rallied, so... And probably as much as it's going to. And foreign stocks have rallied, and probably as far as they're going to. Get out and don't hesitate. Get out now. If you want to, you can purchase some gold and silver coins and put them away. Our gold and silver shares is some wonderful Canadian companies which we recommend. And so if you want to split it up, if you got $1 million, we'll split it up. But those are the best avenues. And if you want, further advice, just email me, Bob at INTFORECASTER.com. bob@intforecaster.com, and I'll help you with it. And just send your phone number, and I'll give you a call.
And he also wanted to know about if we sell gold to Canada, and we do not. And I do have Canadian customers, but many of them do have residences here in the States, so we do ship to an address here in the States, and then they just take it back. And usually my customers who buy gold in Canada usually will buy from the banks. You can get bars from the banks, but you're up there. If you can purchase Canadian maple leaves, then stay with the Canadian maple leaves. This person understands, Stephen, he understands about the reset of the dollar revaluation, 3-to-1, which will make the dollar worth much less. This is why he is investing in precious metals. However, he was wondering what would happen to existing debt. Let's say he has a mortgage on which he owes $120. Will it also be reset down to $40,000 along with the dollars that he has in his pocket? Or will his pay be cut from $90 to $30, but the mortgage will stay at full face value of $120?
I just can't say. I've had the question over and over again, and I don't know how they'll do it. I just don't. Nominal, I would say everything in debt would be reduced by 2/3. Now, if they don't do that, everybody's broke. So, do they really want to do that? I don't think so. So, I think the $100,000 salary would become $30, the $100,000 mortgage would become $30, and so on. And they would have to do that. If they wouldn't, if they didn't, they'd have chaos.
They're going to have chaos anyway.
That's right. So they want it even worse with nobody in their homes and everybody in the streets. And who, pray tell, of the bank is going to sell the houses to? Like nobody?
Well, I'm reading.
Are they going to give them to the Chinese for dollars?
That's probably a real possibility.
It is.
They'll just bulldoze them down like they've already been doing, keeping the houses on their market, on their books. I read where they're keeping the houses on their books, so it doesn't actually show up in inventory and so forth. So
that's right.
Here's another Canadian. With gold dropping when priced in our Canadian dollars, what should we be doing up here? Is gold and silver the right long-term investment for myself and my friends?
And the answer is yes. And Canadian dollars are probably going to appreciate against American dollars, but Canada's currency is still a fiat currency. So the Canadian dollar is still going to lose its value versus gold. Every currency will. So you don't want to be there. You do not want to be there. Pretty simple. So you're better off on gold and silver, and if you must have cash for whatever reason, then buy Canadian treasuries. And that's it.
People just can't accept keeping it simple, that there is only one place that you should be right now for most people. And
that's right.
Again, we're back to they're not content in securing their purchasing or what they have. They're not content with it. It's like they need another fix. They need a bigger fix.
It's just like the people who went with Kylie.
Exactly. 800-375-4188. Get your gold and silver. Give us a call. We'll be back on Friday. Thank you, Bob, for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Take care and God bless.